and welcome to Something Great, a show where we discuss communities, the people who are in them, the people who lead them, and what keeps them vibrant and healthy. I'm your host, Brittany. I'm the Chief Discovery Officer, and I'm excited to chat with you today. Hi, and welcome to Something Great. Today I am here with our two specialists from the Skin Clinic, which is one of Pocatello's most fabulous places to have aesthetics done. We're here with Amy McKinley and Staci Dalton. And we're going to start with icebreaker questions, but really quickly, can you just both introduce yourselves?
Sure. We're excited to be here, Brittany. I'm Amy McKinley. I'm a physician assistant here at the Skin Clinic and Aesthetics. And I've been a PA for about 17 years and started my own business about 2 years ago. I've done aesthetics for about, 15 of those 17 years. And it's just very much progressed throughout those years, and it's been just a fun, wild ride, and have enjoyed every minute of it. I have 5 kids, 3 of my own and 2 that we took in, and like I say, and we just had our very first grandbaby. So life has been really exciting, and it's just been enjoyable. And I've been married to my husband, Matt McKinley, for, it'll be 29 years in a couple weeks, actually.
That is amazing.
Crazy. So that's my wild life, and I've been doing it with Staci for, how many years we've been together now?
Oh my gosh.
We were just talking about that. 4 or 5 years, 5 years?
4. It's been 4.
No, it's been longer than that, has it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, 4. I thought it was 5. Anyway, tell us a little about you, Staci.
So I'm Staci Dalton. I'm a medical assistant here with Amy at the Skin Clinic and Aesthetics. And everybody here is just, oh, you're just a medical assistant? Yep. But we do so many things here. We wear so many different hats. My passion for aesthetics started when I was really, really little. Like, I loved anything pretty and sparkly. And I loved medical and cosmetics. So I went to cosmetology, 26 years ago. I did nails, had salon and spa, and then my world collided with the medical side, and I've worked trauma in Boise, loved that, and then I moved back to Pocatello, and this force drew me to dermatology, and then I met Amy, and it has been just amazing ever since. My life has went completely tenfold. So I'm exactly where I need to be right now.
You two are just incredible in your field, so I'm excited to talk to you. Let's start with a couple of icebreaker questions. These are just silly questions that we ask just to help viewers, we don't have viewers, just to help our listeners get to know you better. What goes in your ice cream? What's the best mix-in for ice cream?
I'm pretty blank. I'm plain. I love Oreos. That's what I that's my go-to. Oreo is my mix-in, and my type of ice cream is always mint and chip.
Delicious. I love someone who knows what they want every time.
That's what I get. Anyway, plain Jane. What do you do?
I love homemade ice cream, but I love the homemade custard side.
Ooh.
So if you can give me some fresh fruit, I love mint chocolate chip. But like fresh peaches, coconut.
You're like a foodie.
I just like that. I just like that homemade stuff. It's always better. I'll make it for you once.
I mean, it's a deal. Done.
It's done.
I'll be here whenever you say.
You got it.
Okay, I am a big believer in that books are life changers. If you could pick 2 books that changed your life, what would they be?
That's a hard one because I have a lot of books I really, really like. Okay, I'll tell you the 2 books.
Okay.
And I've listened to them so many times. Oh, gosh, I wish I had 3 anyway. Okay, the book I really love, and I've listened to it about 6 or 7 times, is a book called Good to Great. Mm-hmm. It's by Jim Collins. Have you read it? Mm-hmm. It is awesome. I've listened to it. It's just so good on how taking a business, just a good business, to how do you become a great business. And that's one of my best books. Anyway, the other book I love, which is kind of a little funny, but it's called The Secret. And it's about utilizing the universe and attraction. It's called the law of attraction, basically, and it's attracting good into your life. You put good out there, good things come back to you. And I found it about 7 or 8 years ago, and it has changed my life too. So I just have started implementing it about 7 or 8 years ago, and it's changed my life. So those 2 books
It feels like positivity is really important too.
Yep. It's so true. Like it changes your life if you implement it. Okay, there's one more book. Sorry, I have to do one more book.
Spill it.
It's called Big Magic.
Okay, I actually recently heard about this, but I haven't read it.
Elizabeth Gilbert.
It is so good.
And it's just a creative way of living. It's almost kind of like she's a writer. She's always been a writer. She's wrote the book Eat, Love, Pray. Made a movie about it. But the Big Magic book is it's so good. It's just, anyways, it just teaches you how to be creative and how to live your life being creative. Anyway.
That's fantastic.
So
I'm going to have to read that one. What about you?
It's a must. So right after I started working with Amy, we were talking, and it's more when we're in work than just, you're a patient in and out. We're so connected with they become our family and our friends. So she was talking to one patient about the book called Girl Wash Your Face. And I love books. I love to read. It drives my husband crazy because he'll be sitting there doing his thing, and I'm reading a book. I'm just doing my thing. So I decided I had to read this book, and it was game-changing because everybody has a story. Everybody has their own tribulations, and it just makes you realize there's nothing in this world you can't do. You have to get up, you have to take your makeup off at night, do your thing, and every day's a new day. Like, you have to fight through everything, and everybody has their own downfalls, but that's okay. And this is crazy, my second book, and it might sound silly, is truly my family's genealogy book.
Oh, I love that.
I love hearing my ancestors' stories, to know where they've come from, and it really tells me where I've come from. To know that we think we have it so hard sometimes, we really don't. And I kind of go back to those, and it just lets me know what strong people I did come from. I love my genealogy. Amy can tell you that. I'm kind of weird about it.
She knows a lot. I'm like, gosh, like your aunt and uncle, like great aunts, and
I do.
We just recently found out we're third cousins too, so which is kind of funny.
So
Our
fun.
great grandmas were sisters, so
the universe really is like
it's
bringing
so
you together.
True. Yeah,
That's so
true.
fantastic.
Anyway,
It's been good.
It's been fun.
I love it. Okay, so let's be done because I'm really excited to talk to you about your business. I've known Amy and Staci for a little over a year now.
Yeah.
And the very first time that we spoke, I was really amazed by just the business mind and the innovation and the intelligence, but still the realness behind everything that you do. And Amy, you started this business. Tell me what drove you, because it's a big step to go from working with someone else and the safety and security that comes with that. Not that there's not a lot of challenges. Talk to me about what drove you to open the skin clinic in aesthetics.
Okay, to be really honest, I think it took getting fired from my other job. I have never been fired from a job before. I was working at a busy dermatology practice, and during COVID, me and him just did not see eye to eye on some things, and he fired me. And I as I walked out of there, I thought, no way in hell am I going to fall on my face. Like, I just knew it inside. Like, I didn't know what I was going to do. I just knew I wasn't going to fall down. And so I thought, okay, so I was scrambling to find, okay, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And he fired Staci too the next day. And so me and Staci are like, okay, what are we going to do? And so I actually had gotten hired on, pretty quickly with another corporation, business, doctor's office. And I woke up one morning and I went, you know what? I don't want to work for somebody else. I've been doing this for so long, and it seems like I come in and I build these businesses or build what I believe is, part of my vision, and it gets taken away, and it's just, you only have so much control. And I said, I don't want to do this. And so I called him up and I said, I'm sorry, I can't work for you, and felt really bad about it. But then I woke up and I'm like, what am I going to do though? As a PA, you only have so much control, because as a PA, you have to have a supervising physician, and they don't own businesses. PAs don't own businesses because it's hard. And so nurse practitioners, on the other hand, can go up and open up their own business. And I was like, well, then fine, I'm going back to nursing school and I'm going to become a nurse practitioner, because then I have more control of what I can do. So I called up the board of physician assistants, and I talked to the president, and I said, hey, I'm kind of sick of how this is. I'm going to go back to nursing school. And he's like, hey, Amy, wait a second. There is some laws going to be passed. We're going to be able to, it's going to be very favorable for us. And so you'll have a lot more control with what we can do in the future. And I'm like, okay. It was July of 2021 is when it's going to come happen. And so I was like, okay, maybe I'll just drag my feet a little bit. I had to not compete with the physician I had been in business with. So I had 1 year to kind of figure out things. And so I had some other physicians approach me about going to business with them. Again, I just didn't feel right about it. And so I talked to Staci, and I'm like, Staci, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do something big. I said, I want to do something, and I kind of expressed my vision and told her about it, and she was like, yeah, let's do this. And I'm like, I'm not sure exactly. And so we actually opened up under M&A Medical. So my husband's name is Matt, I'm Amy. So M&A Medical, I couldn't do anything dermatology or aesthetics for our non-compete. So we specialized in all things health, or especially we did everything. So for that, about 6 months we did that. And then when our non-compete was up, 1 year was up, we changed to the Skin Clinic Aesthetics and opened up our practice. And it's just been, we had to figure out a lot of things, because we still take medical insurance here at our clinic, because we do some medical derm. And so we had to kind of figure that out and figure out how to get it. It's just evolved, and it's been a lot of fun figuring things out on how to do the business end of it, but just so much fun figuring. I always felt like this. I'm like, hey, why not? Let's see if we can do it. I mean, let's just see if we can and just have fun doing it. I know I can figure things out, and I think if you surround yourself around people that kind of help you, they'll help you figure out things too. So I believe in myself I'll figure it out. And so that was the one thing I remember. I think it took getting fired to actually see that I could do something like this, because I don't think I could ever have seen it without being pushed off a cliff and being able to be like, okay, Amy, are you going to fall on your face, or are you going to fly, or learn to figure out where your wings are? And I was like, I will figure out how to grow wings. And that's what we did. We grew wings. I don't know.
I think that's inspiring, and it's clear that your feelings are contagious, because Staci came with you. Yeah. And a startup is no joke. Like, startups, to be a part of a startup, you have to be. So talk to me about, you get this call, and she's like, okay, I'm going to do this. Talk to me about what was running through your mind and the process.
You really have to know Amy. When she says we're going to do something, it's like, okay. I mean...
Well, it was kind of like Jerry Maguire. Remember where Jerry Maguire is kind of like, who's coming with me? And she's like, I'll come. And she brings the goldfish with her, And it's like, it's the only one that comes. And you're just like, okay, we're going to do something great.
It has been great. She says this is her vision. I remember walking or seeing a photo of this clinic the very first time. And I'm like, oh my hell. Oh, okay, this is what we're going to do. And then we would come in and we would see different things, and it has just been beautiful. And everything that she has, it's like her books. They inspire you. And who wouldn't want to learn from one of the best? I mean, she is the best person in our area and one of the best injectors and trainers in the United States. I mean, you'd be a fool to not want to work here. And it's great. I love coming to work. I don't wake up thinking, oh my gosh, I got to get up to go to work. It's like, okay, let's do this. I love it.
It's been fun.
It's been great.
It's interesting interesting is not the right word, but I already used inspiring, and I should have brought a thesaurus, but I didn't. The partnership between the two of you and the way that you play off of each other, I think, is really special and really unique, and speaks to the fact that surrounding yourselves with people who have your vision and catch your vision is so important in business, because you have it and she helps you execute it.
And we wanted to create something, just a better experience. Like when people walk in here, we want them to different. I wanted to feel different. I wanted to know that they were heard, that they were well treated, that their problems, that we're going to help them find solutions to their problems. And I wanted to feel a different experience, and I think we've created that. That's kind of
absolutely.
Anyway.
We have seen people that have been going through treacherous divorces, through deaths of children, and they come in looking for a boost for themselves, but I feel like it's a boost for us as well, because we not only get to help them feel better on the outside, but they build us up on the inside. It's just been a beautiful experience.
Well, and I've always stressed, it's more than Botox, like to my people. It's more than Botox, you guys. This is where we, get to help people change their lives. Like even maybe it's thinking a little different, or offering them a book to read, and
yes,
read this, and it's more than Botox. It's helping women. It's helping people feel better about themselves and know that they're there to change people's lives too. You're here for a purpose, and finding that purpose in your why in life. I think it's important to help people through this life, and if you can do it through your little clinic and through Botox, then that's what this is all about.
Absolutely. I think that's wonderful. Maybe that is part of the medical practice is you're helping people to feel better about themselves, but you're also helping them to heal through conversations that they have here. And I think that's so important. And I am really excited. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back.
Okay.
It's time for the Book Minute with books we can't get enough of this month. Number 1 is Mario McCracken's book, Really Care for Them, an excellent book about nurturing clients through the sales process. Number 2 is Jim Zamzo's That Reminds Me of a Story, which talks about the power of storytelling in everyday life and in business.
And we're back with Amy and Staci for segment 2. I'm so excited to continue our conversation. We've talked a lot about the unique way that you do business and how you help people see the beauty that's inside themselves. And this is working so well for you that you guys are expanding your practice.
We sure are. We have some locations. We have a location in Idaho Falls, and we're actually expanding in Idaho Falls too, where our room went from 1 room to now we've moved into moving next door to 3 rooms. So we're going to be going there, and then we have a clinic in Preston, Idaho, and it's a small little clinic, and then we have our Pocatello office, and then we just bought a building, and we're moving into a bigger building here probably this fall, and it's a 12-room office building. So we're excited.
I'm so excited.
So anyways, it's been fun. It's fun to see the growth and fun to kind of be a part of it, and we've got big visions and big plans. So
You really do. I'm always amazed. Talk to me about what keeps you going, because you started this and clearly, you were successful here, but you keep going. You keep expanding your vision. What keeps your fires lit? What's the next best thing for us? Where are we going from here?
I don't know. It's one of those things where and I guess I'm a visionary because that's...
You absolutely are.
So I can just... And it really is kind of funny because I have goals for for my office. I am going to take my office to Italy, and we're going to go on a fun little trip. And I think that's kind of what it is. I just want to have fun, and I just want to have other people have fun and enjoy and help people. And I don't know. That's kind of in my mind. That's what it is. And my husband Matt is going to be, or he's going to be joining having his own little practice, and he's going to be coming into our building and at the Regenerative and Joint Clinic. And so we just keep on expanding and visualize wonderful things.
So I know what Matt does because we've had fun conversations. For the benefit of those who listen, can you explain what Matt does?
So Matt has been an orthopedic PA for 25 years, and just over the past year he's had some surgeries, and it's been hard for him to continue with doing actual surgeries in cases because he's a total joint, works in total joints. And so he has transitioned to actually a big thing that's been coming out is stem cell injections to help people with that have joint pain or kind of pain, and maybe surgery is not an answer and steroids haven't been working, and there's some alternative type things that we can do is stem cells, PRP injections. He's also looking at hormone optimization for men and women who want to feel better and want to feel their best, and also medical weight loss, which is coming out with some new things out there, and it's just been kind of fun to be a part of that. A lot of peptides that are coming into play in social media and in the media, news about these new things that are coming out to help people feel better and optimize their health. So that's what he's going to start doing, and he's going to be opening up here in the next couple of months. So I'm excited to kind of see what goes on with that. So he's starting his own practice. So another PA-owned business, which there are not very many PA-owned businesses. It's kind of a new thing that's just starting to come out. So being a PA and owning your own business is very, very rare. And it's scary. It's scary to own your own business, because then you have people that you take care of. You have employees, you have those types of things. But it's been just so much fun figuring it out and having fun doing it. And just surrounding yourself with good people on your staff. I always believe that's your most important asset. It's not people, but it's the right people that are the most important assets. And putting them on the right seats, and then you don't have to micromanage. You don't have to really manage, because people just run themselves. So I'm excited.
I think that's amazing. Of all of the things that you're doing, Staci, what makes you most excited? What are you really looking forward to?
Oh my gosh, that is such a hard question for me. There are so many things that make me excited. I want to learn. Like, if I'm learning every day, it's great. If one day I can even be a sliver of what Amy is, it's going to be amazing. But really, my driving factor is just to see them just explode. That is huge for me, because she didn't have to call me the day I was terminated. She didn't have to call me the day that I was terminated. Like, she could have went and done something else, but she was more worried about me than what she was about herself. And that speaks to the kind of person she is. When we come to work, we are with people more than we are our own family. And I love them so much. I mean, they're like family to me. So she knows me at my highs and at my lows, but...
Well, and I want good things for Staci. Like, I want to be the type of leader that challenges my employees to be more than they think they can be. Because that's what you're supposed to be as a leader. That's what you do. You take people and you push them a little bit. Like, no. You're not going to just stay here. You're not going to be stagnant. You're going to be like, do this. You can do this. Like, Staci's going to be an injector. She's going to learn how to inject. She's going to have her own patients. She's going to be doing her own things and want to have her own little business. And I'm like, you should be very successful at that. I want people to be more than what they think they can be. Because as a leader, that's what you do. You push people to become better.
Yes.
And you give them that, because sometimes we don't know that about our own selves. But if you can have someone believe in you and push you, I don't know, that drives me. I think that's what you're meant to do here on earth, is to push other people to be better than what they think they can be. So
that's incredible. And you two do. When we took our break, we talked about this dynamic thing, but you're right that what makes a good leader is someone who multiplies people, and that's so impressive.
Yeah, I think that's what we do. That's what we have to do here on this earth. That's what we're meant to do. Help people along the way. Sometimes we can't see it in ourselves, so we need other people to help us see it.
So in the lane of helping people, I'm curious what you would say to someone who's just leaving school or thinking about leaving a practice to start their own. What would you say to this person? What advice would you give?
You know what I would say to them is, it's the scariest thing you've ever done, but the most rewarding, funnest thing you could ever do. Just being a part of your own destiny and being able to just take your little baby and watch it grow up, and it has just been so much fun. And I think that's the process. It should be fun, and if it's not fun, then it's probably not going to work out. But it has to be an enjoyable process. I mean, yeah, you're going to have days where you're just like, oh geez, but the process has to be enjoyable. You have to enjoy to come to work. If you don't enjoy coming to work, then why would you? I mean, I don't even get that. It should be fun. It should be enjoyable. You shouldn't dread going to work. I would, and it's just one of those things. I don't think you should be in a job if you dread going to work. It makes you feel yucky inside, and it's not good for anything in here. So even if your job isn't fulfilling or you don't feel like it's fulfilling, change your mindset. It's got to be fulfilling somehow. Change the mindset on what you're doing. You got to think of it, how am I helping somebody? How can I help somebody today? That's what you do.
I think that's fantastic. Do you have any specific, were there books or podcasts?
So I'll always say I love Ed Milet. It's a podcast. Actually, it was so funny. I have a story about a guy I was sitting on an airplane with, and he was telling me that he'd just met Ed Milet, and I was like, who the heck's my Ed Milet? And he's like, oh, he's a business guy, and he's got this podcast. And I really started listening to him. I brought him home, had Matt listen to it, and it's changed our lives. Ed Milet, and that's what he does. That's what I like about Ed, is he helps people to see things differently and to help build them. And it's one of my favorite podcasts. So, and I'll pass it on to, and I'll send it on to my kids. Like, you guys have to listen to this one. And I'll say, Stacy, you got to listen to this one. But it's just been really good. And I try to start the day out with a podcast or something positive in my brain to help the day go by smoother. And so,
give you that trajectory.
I would say those are some of the podcasts I like. Some of the books, like I said, Good to Great is a good one. But just changing your mindset, putting more out there, and you will attract stuff back. Putting positive thoughts out there, and more positive stuff will come back to you. If you're a negative person, negative will always come back to you. You just attract it. So
that's really wise.
Yeah.
And then I have to ask you, Staci, so there's a labor shortage in our country right now. There's a lot of people going, I don't love my job. What do I do? So you followed someone into a startup, which startups are inherently risky and scary. What would you say to someone who is looking at that in the job industry and going, maybe this is right for me and maybe it's not? What made you take a chance?
Life is too short. You do not know if you're going to wake up tomorrow. Take the risk. I mean, that risk has been everything to me. I have a supportive family. My husband just supports it. He and Matt will tease us, are you guys ever going to come home? Nope, we're not. We have things to do. The risk is so worth it. Follow your passions.
Here's where we're about to do something we haven't done before, which is we're going to interview some of your clients. You guys have a yearly big event, and talk with them about what's so special about you and about your clinic, which is something I'm really excited about. Before we do that, do you have any insight into your clients that you want to share?
Oh gosh, we love our clients. We have some of the best clients around. It's kind of funny. They become almost like your family. Like they sit in your chair and cry, and you just, it's just one of those things where you hug them when they leave. They become part of your family, your friends, and they're part of my tribe. I feel like they're my tribe, and I totally believe that, and that's what I think sets us apart from other clinics. And that's the one thing that I wanted to implement into our practices, to make that experience that they can actually palpably feel something different in our clinic, that they're actually listened to, that they feel our love for them, and because we truly love them. And I think they can feel it. There's something different.
That is magical. I'm excited to capture that. And then we'll be back after we talk to some of your clients and a quick break to talk about your something great. Thanks again, you guys. For this next segment, we were able to talk to some of the Skin Clinic clients, recorded at an incredible event that they put together. And so you're likely to hear a lot of background noise, but just try and get into the moment and enjoy.
I met Amy probably when I was 19 years old, and I had dreamed of getting my lips done forever, and I heard about how amazing she was, and I had my lips done by someone else, and I went to her, and it was a completely different experience. She was amazing. She listened to me, she talked to me. She made it fun too. I'm such a freak when it comes to like needles, and she is so patient with me. Oh my gosh, I pass out like almost every time. So she's super patient with me, and she's just fun. She's a genuine person who cares about everybody and just wants to have an open, fun environment. And I mean, all of her workers are, Staci's amazing. I mean, I've never met anyone here that I don't love and would hang out with. So Amy genuinely makes you feel like completely comfortable, and like when you leave here, you feel like you're yourself. You're a better version of yourself. Like, she makes you just feel beautiful in your own skin. It's not like a comparison, like, oh, you need this to make you feel beautiful. She just makes you feel good with who you are, and she enhances everything. It's not about changing your face or, making you feel like a different person. It's just about enhancing the beauty that you already have. And she makes that pretty clear, yeah.
Hi, I'm April Tucker, and I have been going to Amy since I think about 2010. I met her at the Leg and Vein Center, and she did amazing on my legs. She injected them. And then I went to her for the whole time that she was there, and then I followed her thereafter, and she still does my legs, and now it's 2022. She also does my Botox that I need now since I've gotten older. And just recently, I called to make an appointment to see if they can get me on last minute for my lips, because I was leaving for my best friend's wedding to Cancun just a week ago, and they made it so that they still saw me even after they were working all day in Idaho Falls. They still made it here for me and got it done, which I really appreciate. Amy does, and her staff do a lot of awesome things for our community. She's really empowering. She makes you feel like you're her best friend, and everyone's her best friend. She's just such an awesome, sweet person, and I just love her. I love that she supports the women in our community and just helps everyone. I just love it. I love her.
Well, what I love about Amy is that she makes me feel like I'm her friend. And when I come in, first of all, I look forward to coming all day because I get to talk to her for a minute. But when I get here, she makes everything okay. Like, I've been other places before, it hurts. It, for some reason, it doesn't hurt when I'm here. Maybe it's that big happy smile. I don't know. But she makes everything good. And I love her girl power. And that she took it on herself and started her own and is making it happen. Love it.
We first met Amy, it's been a few years ago when our children actually played sports together. So our sons played football and wrestled together. And I always admired how youthful and beautiful she looked. It was not long after that my daughter, who was in high school, was really struggling with acne. And so we went to the Idaho Skin Institute and met with Amy, and she was just incredible. She seemed like she just understood exactly what my daughter was going through. She said, there are a few different things that we could do, but let's really just start with what's the best. And so with that, she had just a regimen for her to, use every day and night. And within probably 4 or 5 months, her skin cleared up, and it was absolutely gorgeous. When Amy started this kind of new venture, I was really thrilled. It's something I've never done before, but I was, I'm 50 now and felt like it's time to maybe do a little bit of maintenance and kind of give mom a little bit of, rejuvenation. So I made the appointment and came in, and Amy was so compassionate and listened to, all of my needs and concerns. and took time, and she just did an incredible job. I feel like I have found the fountain of youth with Amy. It's just been incredible. I feel wonderful when I leave here. I feel the best I've felt in years.
We're back with our final segment and have enjoyed talking with your clients. Now we'd love to close with something great. And if we could start, maybe should we start with Staci? Staci, do you want to tell us something great?
Something great. Oh my gosh. I know you prepared me for this. You're like, okay, this is what we're doing. I have so many things great. Really, my greatest thing to me, this is going to sound weird and everybody does it, but my greatest thing is my family. You know, knowing that I get to come to work, but I get to go home to such a great family. I have the best husband. He supports my chaos. You know, he knows, what are you doing? I'm working. And he loves it. He supports it. I've got my 5 kiddos, a grandbaby. You know, to me, that's just great for me. That and the mountains.
Those are
There
great.
you go. Take me to the mountains. That's my great.
That's very true. Okay, so I have several little, there's moments, I guess I should
Share
say.
them all.
So this is a story really quick, but so when you were asking about should someone start a business, me and Matt, he had started a business, actually our own spa back in 2007, 2008, and it failed. And it was scary, and I remember we had put so much money of our own money behind it, and we were losing it all, and I remember sitting on my kitchen floor just crying. And, I was like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? And I just felt like everything was lost. And now looking back at that moment, I remember a massage therapist actually told me about that book, The Secret. I actually started watching the movie. It was on Netflix. And I would watch it every morning as I was running on the treadmill. And I started, implementing that into my life about, putting positive stuff out there and getting stuff back and trying to implement that. And it started working little by little. It was working. And I started living my life that way. And because I kind of grew up in a negative type family and was kind of a negative person. And I started changing my thought process. And it's little by little, I started little things coming into my life, little miracles. And I remember being on an airplane and sitting next to a guy who his story changed my life too. And just little moments like that have been big impacts on my life. And I think people come into your life, and I try to take those moments and try to learn from them and try to implement them into making me a better person. And my husband Matt has been a big, has had a lot of impact on me, and he's a very loving and forgiving person. So I'm not the easiest person to live with, and I just think, just little moments in life we took in some kids that needed a home, and what a change that made in our lives. It was hard, but I think hard things are what make and shape you. And little did I know that individual would not only change, we changed his life, but he changed our lives too, and changed our whole family. And I think when you put good things out there, good things come back. And so I try to teach that to my kids and teach that to other people, and I try to live my life that way. And so, like I say, I think there's great moments that I try to savor and try to remember. And anyway, I don't know, there's not just one moment in my life that I feel like, but lots of little moments.
I think that's perfect. And I love the story of your evolution and growing through loss.
Yeah, it was hard, but wow, if I could only have seen now what I could back then, it would have been a lot different. But sometimes you can't see those things, and you are just so in your grief, and you're just like all is lost, and pulling yourself up off the ground, the kitchen floor, and putting one foot in front of the other, and I think it's resilience, being resilient and being able to be brave in spite of fear, which is hard to do sometimes.
Really hard.
But
I think great pain and great loss like that really does one of two things, right? It totally embitters you and it cripples you, or it inspires growth.
Yep, totally. Yep, you can either go one way or the other way, and it's a choice you make. So,
well, I'm grateful for the choice you made. I know I love it here. I'm thankful for your time today, and thank you for joining us on the podcast.
Thank you, Brittany. We appreciate you having us today. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope you feel inspired to do something great. And thanks to Lingo for sponsoring this podcast.
Lingo is the most effective way to connect with customers in the moment they need you, deepen engagement that leads to dramatic results, and build communities so that your business continues to grow. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or at liiingo.com. See you there.